Hi there, welcome on board today's journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine. We'll explore measures to enhance mosquito vector control, plus a look at how students are honing engineering skills in fun and exciting ways. Stick around, these and much more to come your way after this message.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced this week that government has completed a comprehensive national drainage plan. Its execution is estimated to cost between $100 and $150 million and should put an end to flooding in the corporate area as well as several flood-prone towns such as Maypen, Santa Cruz and Port Maria.
Hopefully they will go to contracting within a month, and the period of design will be about 6 months. So hopefully we'll have that ready in terms of the major drains that will need to be reconstructed or new drains to be put in for Kingston and St. Andrew.
A contingent of 120 Jamaica Defence Force soldiers and 11 members of the Royal Canadian Air Force left the island last week to provide recovery and humanitarian support to the Bahamas following the devastation caused by Hurricane Dorian.
This DART team is prepared to assist generally in anything that the Bahamian government may need, for which we are equipped. But in the initial stages, the focus will be on recovery, logistics, if there is need for medical assistance and any emergency engineering assistance. The task of rebuilding will fall to, obviously, the people of the Bahamas, but they will not be doing it alone. The entire Caribbean region, indeed the entire world, is looking on and giving assistance to the people of the Bahamas.
Over 500 residents in St. Paul's Lane off Olympic Gardens are to benefit from the re-electrification of their homes following the distribution of power lines in the St. Andrew West Central community recently.
Some of you have built homes there where the wiring is not up to standard to take the JPS electricity. And we have made provisions to assist those households to rewire, to bring your electrical wiring up to standard so that you can genuinely take the JPS electricity supply.
The National Security Ministry signed 8 contracts this week to expedite renovation work on 14 police stations at a cost of $195 million.
It's a major task. It includes repair of roofs, electrical fixtures, infrastructure, plumbing, termite control, refurbishing of bathroom facilities, improving drainage, and replacing perimeter fencing, but to name a few.
Operations at the GISCO-owned alumina refinery in Nain, St. Elizabeth will be temporarily suspended to facilitate modernization and expansion works.
I wish to remind this House and the people of Jamaica that the modernization and expansion program will be one of the largest investments in the history of this country. Total investment is projected at $1.1 billion when fully completed.
The Maypen Hospital in Clarendon has been officially presented with a brand new C-arm X-ray machine, which will help improve diagnostic services and patient treatment.
An important collaboration symbolizing the importance of the friendship between Japan and Jamaica. It comes with a host of things, lead aprons, decked rack, mobile apron rack, thyroid collars, adjustable mobile lead barrier, etc.
Meanwhile, the St. James Health Department will be getting an additional 30 vector control workers to assist with the destruction of mosquito breeding sites in the parish.
We want to appeal to the public, to the populace, that while we will do whatever is necessary to raise the awareness, to support the identification and destruction of breeding sites, to deal with symptoms and treatment. Ultimately, personal responsibility and citizens' action needs to be a norm rather than an exception. It cannot be seasonal. It has to be a routine, a part of our culture, a part of our behavior.
And finally, tributes flowed in Parliament Tuesday for 3 former members of Parliament who passed away recently. Prime Minister Andrew Holness led the tributes to former members of Parliament Lawrence Broderick and Glenville Shaw, as well as former Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ken Baugh.
Right throughout Ken's life, and reflected in the tributes that have been given here, is that in Jamaican terms, you would describe Ken as a nice man. As a nice man, a man of great honor, integrity, dignity.
I think his reputation for decency and goodwill earned him the respect of all his colleagues within the House on all sides.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
Measles is a highly contagious viral disease affecting many children. Infection spreads rapidly, even before symptoms are evident. It therefore has the potential to cause outbreaks. Vaccination is the only way that we can prevent measles in Jamaica today. 2 doses of the MMR vaccine are needed to provide full protection against the disease. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is seeking the full cooperation of parents and guardians to ensure that their children receive their 2 doses of the MMR vaccine, especially before traveling to a country that is known to have reported cases of measles. Protect your children's health. Protect our nation's health. Check your vaccine status today.
Mosquitoes have been quite a nuisance, causing much discomfort and ill health. Controlling the mosquito population is one of the best means of protection from this pesky insect. The Ministry of Health has been routinely ramping up its vector control activities to reduce the risk of disease transmission. More in this feature.
Oh, that a helicopter a fly. Not the one AD's Egypt time. And a police, you not get no blind. Dirty Culex, the outsider cry. You don't believe that dengue is real. Who can't hear mosquito bite, them a feel. Female, a search for a blood meal. To argue is like a KFC meal deal. Vector control, fight against Zika. Vector control, kill mosquito.
Dengue fever, a mad me. They really tend to get to the mosquito. But to me, that did look like small matter. Me just clap after the one that will come too close. But me never know say so much deep in me. Oh, you see how them little ass sneaking?
Entertainment being shared here with strong personal responsibility messages for preventative measures as an army of 1,000 vector control aides and unit staff muster on the grounds of the National Heroes Circle. These are the Ministry of Health and Wellness's frontline assault on the mosquito population across Jamaica. Over the past few years, the ministry has introduced the Enhanced Vector Control Program as a component of its Integrated Vector Management Program to strategically control the mosquito population.
History, literature, and research tells us that if we enhance our vector control activities 2 or 3 months prior to your high transmission period, you're likely to reduce the possibility of an outbreak. And if you do get into an outbreak, to reduce the burden of same.
It is an attempt at educating the population, and we have to remind them of it almost every single year, because as Jamaicans we tend to forget when it's not a crisis, it don't matter until it becomes a crisis again. We have to be proactive.
Ridding our environment of the pesky Aedes aegypti mosquito requires every able member of our communities to engage in a sustained search to locate and destroy mosquito breeding sites. The ministry's trained vector control team plays an important role by visiting homes, distributing materials, inspecting and treating water storage facilities, and passing on information to individuals they meet.
We're focusing on this one because this one is the one that carries the deadly virus. The ZIKV, the CHIKV, the dengue in particular, but other viruses too.
Objects and containers holding water or water catchment areas within our surroundings are prime breeding sites.
75 of the times when we find mosquitoes breeding, it is in and around the home, and it was put there or left there by the householder, who becomes the victim of the mosquito when it goes out and starts to bite and spread the virus.
The team of vector control workers have the role of ensuring householders recognize the dangers and that they take the necessary steps to secure their environment.
Cover your drums if you're storing water for usage. That you make sure your solid waste is properly packaged so that NSNAA can come and pick it up, or you can drop it off somewhere. That you empty out your vase that you have your flowers in, your freshly cut flowers on your dining room table or on your dresser to pretty up your house. You empty it periodically because it's water and it's a breeding site.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is making the employment of 1,000 vector control aides a standardized yearly feature of its operation. At the same time, the cadre of permanent vector control staff is being increased from 200 to 300, drawing from the pool of 1,000. All vector control aides received training and certification through the Heart Trust NTA, which empowered them with the skills they can use in many other jobs.
The training is about management and supervision. The training is about how to interact with people, customer service. The training is about deportment and personal conduct. Those are life skills that helps you to be a better individual and a more marketable individual.
Extra resources have been provided to support this much bigger team in the field in the form of logistics, transportation and equipment such as fogging machines. Some things they want every Jamaican to recognize includes the additional breeding sites that spring up during rainy times. Water collection containers should be securely covered so they don't become breeding grounds. And solid waste can be a harbor for these deadly pests. The Health and Wellness Ministry is collaborating with the National Solid Waste Management Authority and municipal corporations to ensure our environments are clean and mosquito-free. $130 million has been mobilized by the National Health Fund to finance the work.
The NSWMA stand ready to work with the Ministry of Health and all other partners because we have a mantra and we share it right across. Jamaica's beauty is our collective duty, and we want to have a safe environment for us, not us, but our children.
Be welcoming to those who are deployed in the field, the 1,200 or so vector workers who will visit your homes to allow them to assist you in identifying and destroying those breeding sites. The real response to dengue is not just about the treatment. That stage everybody would have been, the person would have been affected. It really is about how we prevent.
Educational development in the areas of technology and engineering is important for meeting human resource needs now and in the future. Increasingly, students in our high schools are honing skills in these areas and building the platform to take on current and future job opportunities. Find out more in this next feature.
All right, Anna Hugh, would you like to demonstrate how rains along a ridge? Excellent job, Anna Hugh.
This is the augmented reality sandbox created by the engineering club at the Herbert Martin Technical High School. This is one of the 5 projects that will be shown in today's episode of School Zone. Stay tuned after the break for more.
School Zone, School Zone, School Zone, School Zone, School Zone, School Zone.
Welcome to another episode of School Zone. As you heard earlier, we're here at the Herbert Martin Technical High School in St. James, where we're learning about a few projects by the Engineering Club. First up on the program is the AR Sandbox. And joining me is the geography teacher here, Mrs. King-Hope, who will be telling us more about this.
The AR Sandbox is actually a technological tool that casts or projects virtual reality onto sand. So it is actually a simulation of topographical features that you can actually manipulate as you move the sand. It is one of the most student-centered tools we have at Herbert Morrison. Students can actually interact and move the sand, and at the same time they can learn and have fun. Before we get to the actual secret of how it operates, there are some things that I would like to show you in terms of how the tool is used. We usually have flat maps that we use. We call them ordnance survey maps. Those maps are two-dimensional. And students have limitations where those maps are concerned. Where the AR Sandbox is concerned, students can actually interact with the box and create the features that they would normally see on a two-dimensional map. That excites them, and that also enhances and complements the geography as a learning tool.
Really, it's really simple. It's only 3 main pieces of equipment. An infrared camera that we call the eyes, a projector, and a computer that compiles the information. So the camera judges the depth, which sends that information back to the computer. The computer processes this and sends it back to the projector, which shows you what you see here. And seeing as we use the computer, we can put different functions on. So different keys have different functions. For instance, the 1 key would introduce more liquid to the environment, while the 6 key would change the type of liquid. So we can change it from water to lava to green moss to snow, back to water.
So Ms. Clark, here we have the Herbie GoKart. It was a project that was started a couple of years back by other students of the engineering club, but wasn't finished because of financial strains that they had. So I and others finished the go-kart as best as possible. As you can see here, we have here the gas pedal, which accelerates the vehicle, the kart, when we apply pressure on the pedal. Then we have the brake pedal, which is used to apply friction to the wheels, which slows down the kart. Then we have the steering, which steers either left or right. Now around here, we have the engine. This is a Honda GX 120 6.5 horsepower engine, and this kart is a dead axle go-kart, which means that it is run by only 1 wheel. Over here we have the remote kill switch, which I programmed myself, which is used to turn off or turn on the kart from a remote distance. The kill switch is more like a safety device. As we're speaking about safety, here you can see we have our helmet, and safety always comes first. And I like to add that the main purpose of this go-kart is to help persons of the Herbert Morrison Technical High School to learn how to drive, so that when they leave high school they can have their driver's license.
Mr. Cook?
Hi, Ms. Clark.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, ma'am.
All right, so we're now at the buzzer system, and Mr. Cook, the president of the engineering club and teacher here, will be telling us more about this.
This buzzer circuit here is no necessarily special buzzer circuit, but it has an additional feature. It has a referee here, basically, which basically indicates who buzzed first. So if Team Red buzzed first, that signal is sent to this circuit board, which turns on the red light. When the red light is turned on, it prevents the blue light to turn on, whether or not the blue team is pressing. So, Ms. Clark, we're going to give you a practical demonstration of how these circuit boards work. Team Blue, ready? Yes, sir. Team Red, ready? Yes, sir. Listen for me carefully. What is the capital of St. James?
Montego
Obviously.
Bay.
Team Blue is up first. Team Blue.
Yes, sir. Montego Bay.
Montego Bay, York, and Montego Bay is correct. So we decided that we wanted to make a board, and make a board that is futuristic, an upgrade from what we had before. We also made it on a next basis. As a teacher, I wanted to have students to do activities, creative activities, because there are times when the activities is boring in their view. So I wanted students to get a feel of what it's like to be on School Challenge Quiz in my class without being on School Challenge Quiz.
Have you ever heard about 3D printing, sublimation printing, and laser engraving? If not, today's your lucky day. We have examples of all three that were produced by the Engineering Club, and we'll be joined by Conrad, who'll be showing us examples of these. Over to you, Conrad.
Okay, thank you. So here we have different products and items that were created in the laser engraver. So we have different keychains and necklaces, even little award plaques. These were all done in the laser engraver, which, as its name suggests, uses a laser to chip away at the materials put in, which is usually acrylic or Solitex. Here we have medals that were given out at Sports Day. These were put into the heat press, which is a sublimation machine, and it basically transfers the gas to a solid, which is displayed in the center. Here we have one of my favorite things, the edgelit lamp. Now these edgelit lamps are two parts. So the main part is the acrylic and the second part is the base. Now the acrylic is done in the laser engraver like all our acrylic pieces, and the bases, some of them are pre-owned, some of them were purchased, while some of them were created by our wonderful 3D printer. Now this 3D printer can do a marvel of things. It can create little keychains and trinkets, it can create full-blown machine parts, and it can even create functioning toy vehicles. What it does is it melts a small wire of filament and through a little spout takes its time and works its way up, printing from bottom to top. I'd like to add that these pins and keychains and trinkets that we make, we don't just keep them for ourselves, obviously. We sell them to the school at a discounted cost, and we sell them to other schools and institutions at lower costs.
Thanks again, Conrad. So we only have one more interesting project for you, and that's the virtual tour of the Herbert Morrison Technical High School. And our friend here, Anthony, will be taking you through that tour.
Today we are showing an interactive simulation of the school. It incorporates different things from different members of the engineering club. Today we have Kobe Jordan. He's our 3D modeler. He designs our characters. What he has here is the principal he's working on, the principal of our school, Mr. Adams. All right, we also have Marcus Cohen. He works on the full model of the school, all the details of the school. He went out and got pictures and measurements of the entire school and then recreated it in a 3D software. Then we have Kevon Lee, our texture. He takes the models and applies realistic looking materials to them to make it look as realistic as possible, having all the scratches and dents of the school. And I do the programming. It allows for the character movements. As you can see, you can walk around the 3D space as much as you want. You'll see the AI, like different students in the school walking around, going about their daily lives. The code allows them to move around the 3D space. After I get the models from KJ, our vice president and 3D modeler, you can see the school is to scale. As you can see, when you stand up, you are to scale to the school. So are the characters in the simulation. Here is the document center for our school. Down there, the area that we are looking is the visual arts area, and over there is the TD rooms. So you can see it's a fairly accurate model of the school.
School zone, school zone, school zone, school zone, school zone, school zone, school zone.
Small, medium and micro enterprises have an important role in the growth and development of Jamaica's economy. Government has been ensuring there are opportunities and business facilitation in place for their growth. We'll learn more in this feature.
If it is that one day you're not feeling well or you have somebody who needs care at home, what we will do is that we'll have one of our nurses or our doctors come in and take care of the person.
Jamaica is cultivating an entrepreneurial culture, and young people like former fashion designer Chanel Francis are leading the way. It's estimated that over 90% of new jobs in Jamaica are created by small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. This surge in the SME sector is driven by a new passion for entrepreneurship, government policies, and public-private partnerships. The Small Business Association is ensuring that entrepreneurs are aware of assistance programs. Programs like the Voucher for Technical Assistance to help SMEs with financial statements, business and marketing plans, and other technical needs. It's the result of a partnership between the Development Bank of Jamaica and the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica. And companies such as the National Bakery have been pouring millions into philanthropic ventures that support SMEs. The Bold Ones is one such program where assistance is provided to selected SMEs in the manufacturing sector to market their products, grow their companies, and employ more Jamaicans. The junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange is helping to build the sector by providing a platform for SMEs to increase funds and raise the profile of their business. The government of Jamaica is also playing its part to develop a flourishing SME sector.
My mission is to elevate the MSMEs to a formal and structured sector in the Jamaican economy and to accord them the dignity they deserve as critical contributors to national building.
To help achieve this goal, the government has established an office to roll out its SME and entrepreneurship policy. Some of the key areas of focus include cutting the bureaucracy and regulatory costs of setting up and operating businesses. The government is also providing business development support through organizations like the Jamaica Business Development Corporation and Startup Jamaica. There is greater access to financing. SMEs can now use non-traditional assets as collateral. They can also benefit from a $30 million loan facility through the Exim Bank and the Jamaica Manufacturers Association. But it's not just the SME sector that's vibrant. Social enterprises are also making a profit and making a difference. One example is the Jamaica School for Social Entrepreneurship. It targets individuals and groups that run businesses for the social and environmental benefit of their communities. Returning residents and members of the Jamaican diaspora have also been active, and they are benefiting from the support of projects like the JN Foundation Social Enterprise Boost Initiative, or SEBI. This JN USAID project has been helping grant-funded operations transition into viable, profit-making businesses to support their social missions. Through SEBI, more than 130 community members have been employed in social enterprises, and some $37.7 million Jamaican dollars in revenue has been generated. Another initiative that's helping social enterprises is JN's iSupport Jamaica platform. Because of iSupport, projects under the Jamaica Diaspora Task Force on Education and many others are being exposed to crowdfunding. Thanks to the big ideas and boldness of small, medium-sized and social enterprises, coupled with enabling government policies and partnerships across sectors, Jamaica's small, medium-sized and social enterprises are making profits, creating employment and making a difference across the island.
We've come to the close of Jamaica Magazine for today. We hope you've been enlightened and ask that you do join us again tomorrow for more. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website, gis.gov.jm, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.